Okay, let me get back here. All right. First I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to share my latest introductory slideshow. Okay, here we go. I do not see it, but I have it. Oh no. Yeah, I have it up. Oh, we have a guest. Let's pause this for a while. Hi, Sera.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi. Wow, how cool.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I was just going to start the introductory slideshow.
Go for it.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
The thing is, I didn't see it. I clicked on share screen, and that one didn't show up. So I know I have it up, but anyway, we'll see. Hopefully it'll all work out well.
I love the fact that you're getting so much practice at all of this, that you're just doing it. It's really good.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking about that exact same thing this morning, how I'm so glad that I'm doing this. Oh, there it is. All right. Okay. I'm so glad, no matter what, I'm glad I'm doing this. It feels really good to me because I'm putting out what I want to share, and just keep on going.
And I wasn't able to talk to Katerina about this last Friday, but
Okay.
I want to talk to a few other people and bring it out in a good way.
Yeah.
So many things are getting promoted right now and organized and reorganized. But it's a great time, it's a great time to put it out there little by little. But I just really want to bring it to people who would be interested and able to work together with
that sounds
this
great.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, really great. Just perfect. It sounds perfect. So, okay. Now we'll see how this goes. It's been going pretty well, so it should be all right. I'm going to try something. Oh, it's not going to work. Okay. Welcome to Raising Happy Kids Zoom Show, episode 46. Getting started. Raising happy kids with the one rule. Okay. During this 1 hour.
Karen, I'm sorry, I have to eat breakfast.
Okay, go ahead. During this 1 hour Zoom show, I focus on sharing tips and lessons on the one rule to raising happy kids. Each episode has at least one example of the one rule in action, demonstrating how it helps you raise a happy child. Then when we have guests, we have Q&A and discussion. When I talk about raising happy kids or creating harmony with kids, I bring up the one rule. The one rule equals agreement. Agreement equals harmony. Using the one rule means you find agreement. That's the rule. You find a solution that everyone likes. You've found agreement. You've found harmony. Knowing and following the one rule is all you really need to create harmony between you and your kids. In any situation where there are differences that might lead to conflict between you and your kids, use the one rule. I learned this strategy from 3-year-old children. I was teaching them a complex conflict resolution strategy, actually intended for adults, and they taught me this. So don't think you're in for a rough time. It's simple. It's easy. It's powerful and effective. It works if you use it. The one rule: start strong. You have decided that you really want harmony with your child. That sounds so good, right? You've decided that you do not want to make your child do what they do not want to do, and you do not want to do what you do not want to do, and you are going to make this work. You have decided that you want to use the one rule to make this happen. This is going to become your new habit. You remember that when you use the one rule, you are sharing the following messages with your kids. I want us all to be happy. We are each important. Together we can solve our problems. I believe in you. I love you. To create this new habit, you are going to start with yourself and what you want. You decide that you are going to let how you feel about a situation determine whether you agree with it or not. If it feels good, then you can agree with it. If not, you cannot. Ask yourself, is this situation okay with me just as it is? If yes, good. If no, what would have to change, be different, so I could feel good about it? Maybe several versions of this situation would feel fine with you. Maybe only one. This exercise, this practice, helps you make a habit of following the one rule. No matter what age your kids are, this exercise helps ensure a strong start and makes following the one rule so much easier. Here is something that might make following the one rule even easier. Recently, I asked myself a question. What do I want people to feel when they are connecting with my work? I definitely want them to feel good about themselves. Then the following answer appeared, to my surprise and delight. I want people to realize that they are already using the one rule. That understanding surprised me, and as more and more of it was revealed to me, it delighted me. Of course, people are already using the one rule. I am not teaching them anything they don't know. I am not teaching them anything strange to them. I am just helping them expand their use of something they use daily without thinking about it. They use it. You use it. Every time you come to a decision inside of yourself, you are using the one rule. Most likely, you had to consider several options or possibilities to reach that decision, even if it just took you a few seconds for you to agree with yourself. That is what I want. You also use the one rule whenever you agree with someone else. Together, you come to a decision, an agreement. Yes, tomorrow I'll go to the auto parts store after I get my nails done. Even with your kids, you are using the one rule. You're coming to agreements. Think about it. Of course you are. You are just not thinking of it as a rule, as something required. So at times, you are not coming to agreement. I am here to help you think of coming to agreement as required, as a rule, as the one rule. You just expand the situations where you come to agreement until coming to agreement is just what you do and your kids do. It is the rule you and your kids follow. When you use the one rule, you are creating harmony. Your kids are creating harmony. You're becoming used to creating harmony, familiar with how good it feels to everyone involved. One point to be clear on is that even if a situation seems complicated, and it seems that it is impossible to find a solution that everyone involved can feel good about, it is still possible. The important thing to remember is that there is a way for things to work so everyone involved gets to feel good. Keep that in mind. This has been my experience whenever I have made this effort. When you actually start working with your kids using the one rule, helping them follow their interests is one of the easiest ways for you to start. You can understand that, right? It is also one of the most beneficial things you can do for your kids. Why is it good for your kids to do what interests them? One primary reason is that their interest is a key to helping them become the best versions of themselves that they can become. When we do what interests us, we are very engaged and focused. Think about doing something that interests you. When we are engaged and focused, what we do and produce tends to be of much better quality than if we were not interested. Interest helps result in excellence. An even more important result of being engaged and focused is that our whole being is involved in what interests us. That is why we are engaged and focused. We are experiencing harmony, inner harmony. That is a good reason to allow and encourage our kids to do what they are interested in doing. I have observed children doing what really interests them and they become peaceful, harmonious people, even if they were not before. Now, that does not mean that everything that interests our kids is going to always interest them. They may be interested for 10 minutes, or 10 hours, or 10 days, or 10 years, or even a lifetime. The point is following their interest, not the specific thing or experience that interests them. So please help your kids follow their interests. If they ask for your help, if for any reason you do not want to do what they are asking you to do, that is a perfect time to use the one rule. Another reason for helping your kids follow their interests is one that is taking care of you too. When they are eager to do something instead of resisting doing it, you do not have to encourage them to do it or insist that they do it, let alone force them to do it. Think of how much of your time and energy could be available for you to use as you wish. Helping them follow their interest is actually the one rule in action, taking care of you and your kids. I'm glad you're here. Okay. Whoops.
That was really nice.
Cool.
When did you finish that one? It's a new one?
Yes. Yeah, I did it for the first time last week. And it was so interesting because just as I finished, you came on.
Wow.
It was like
Oh
we
my gosh.
timed it, but we didn't.
No, I'm so sorry. I had internet trouble, I
No.
think, last week.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Anyway, so
Very nice. Is that the one that's not the one you sent me though. You sent me more the book things. I
I
anyhow.
might have included that. I'm not sure.
Okay. I'll
Um,
check later.
okay.
But
If I
that's
haven't, I'll for sure send it, or I could just send it,
okay. Yeah, or yeah, I mean I have to make a list of the people I'm thinking of. And you already met Sarah Holmes.
Yeah.
And but there's somebody over in Alabama. I want to see this
All
because
right.
they do a lot of work with the children's activities and things. And they're a young couple. They have small children, but they're a little bit of a mentor to other young families, kind of a
Nice.
mentoring family. You would love them too. They're so sweet. But so I try to introduce you to a couple of these people, but let them know about what you're doing. And kind of I want to make it really easy for them if possible to kind of get it in some sort of I mean, anyhow, I don't want to yeah, I just want to get back with you about different options and things like
Okay.
that. Yeah,
That's good.
things I've already talked about. I don't want to talk about other things until can kind of move forward with those little bullying pamphlets or things like that. I
Right.
should try to do that quickly, like you said. When school starts again in the fall, those could be
That's a good idea.
they could be so helpful to people, you know.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah, after COVID, oh my gosh, and then people I think are so much more open to
Yes.
being aware of other people than
Right.
before.
Yeah. Yeah. People, there's a lot of people taking care of people.
Yeah.
And caring about people. So.
And we don't know, COVID brought a lot of intensified bad situations too.
I've seen a little of that too.
I mean, I don't know so much, but I've heard how a bad situation was even more. Yeah, so we don't know what kids are bringing back to school with them either. You know.
True.
So,
Yeah.
it'll take a while for people to get back on their feet, but I think, anyhow, let's see what. I got call a few people.
Did you get a chance to check out the new the new website?
I just looked at it. I did, but I didn't look at every page. But it's
There aren't that many yet.
okay.
The pages, in fact, I'd kind of every time since it first happened, every time I'm gonna have a show, even if people have said they will be on, I arrange things to share because sometimes things happen and people who plan to come can't make it for whatever reason. So, and sometimes I don't know if anyone's coming. So, and sometimes they don't. And so I always arrange a series of things that I can choose from and talk on and stuff. So that was one thing that I had lined up, was to let people know about the new website. Because the old one, it's going to continue. It has loads of information on it, but I can't make any changes to it at all. And there's some some things I wish I could change, but there's nothing I can do about it. They've kind of dropped it. I mean, it'll still be there. It'll still be functioning, actually. It's just
Old
I can't.
website.
Yeah, my old one, the happykidsco.com.
Yeah.
So now it's happykidsco.org
Oh, okay.
is the new one. So.
But you don't want people to go there right now?
They could go there right now. Let's see. Do I have? Actually, I was gonna try and get. There's just one detail I want to get set up. See, right now, if you signed up to get my book and training, because that's I'm giving that as a gift when people sign up with me. I wanted to have that ready. That's the last detail that I want ready. There's some other things I need to get together, but it doesn't matter. But right now, it's going to be more complicated to do that. So I'm hoping that today I can complete that, so that when you sign up, you immediately get the book and an email with a link to the book. So, but the other things are working fine. Like I have a link to the YouTube channel so people can see all the videos. I have a link to my main blog, the Miracle Worker of Education and Parenting. And I have quite a few blog posts there. And I have a link to the podcast, which has, I think, 17, I'm not sure how many, but it has a number of podcasts there. So that was so that people can learn about what I do. So, and what I'm offering them to know about, to bring peace and harmony into their lives more, you know, either to bring it or expand it. Expand it's probably more likely. Yeah.
It's such an important part of someone's life, though, their early childhood education, as far as listened to and having self-esteem.
Yes.
It's so important. And parents think they're all alone in that, and that they can just, all they have to rely on is their own love and their own, you know, limitations of apologizing when they blow up and stuff. And, you know, that love always brings them back. But the kids, we know, they can go through it at different levels of different degrees of success, you know, but it always deposits something in us of fear and shock and, you know, disquiet, you know, of being me. I'm uncomfortable with being me because I just did something wrong, and I didn't know.
Right.
You know, I blew it. So I'm doubting myself. You know.
Yes.
You know, those little kids, they face that, but doesn't mean that the whole world is going to be kind and nice to you. But at least you know, if you have a stable environment somewhere, you know, in your home, you know, if parents have that. Anyhow, I know that, you know, it's not something that's bulletproof necessarily, but like you said, this will become your habit and you'll be used to doing it. Yeah.
Well, it makes a huge difference because even my own children, I mean, people appreciate their presence, all ages of people. And so they're less likely to have negative interactions. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but they have the inner strength to deal with them and to not let them penetrate and, you know, become like festering in them or anything.
Right.
So those are important things.
They don't get derailed by challenges, things like that, or
right.
You know, even like, but I'm not sure why it would sometimes happen, but you know, like direct attack or I mean, not attack like physically, but like, you know, in a job situation, you know, you never know when people walk in and have a very good situation going in, what kind of coworker could be there or something like that. That's not necessarily their boss, but they have to feel able to harmonize, right? If you know, if you're going to enjoy your job or something like that.
Right. Yeah, and to learn skills like refocusing yourself, you know, like if a situation that is not enjoyable comes along, there's always something in it that is that can feel positive.
If you catch yourself, like you said,
if that's your habit, you know, your habit is like one of the things that I do teach people is, or share with them, I don't know, teach, because learn, to me, I guess I can share with them, but whether they take it on, make it part of who they are, that's the important thing in terms of them and their lives. So if they take on, I do share ways to find that inner harmony inside yourself, so that that's part of who you are and what you do. So and it's like an ongoing process, really, I think.
Is it more like meditation practices, or
That's part of it, if
other
that's
things
something
among
that
others?
people like, yeah. And there's many different ways. I mean, sitting meditation is one, and it's kind of what I know. But there are ways to get into that state, you know, like I think people call it the zone or something like that. There are different ways to get into that state. I just was introduced to meditation early in my adult life, and it felt like home to me.
But if you were going to teach people how to connect, like have that moment to connect to themselves, to like refocus themselves, what would you suggest? What would you, or what do you offer to them as far as technique, or because it is a life skill, you know,
Yeah,
a life
it's
skill. And
helpful.
this whole program is really about life skills, how you can give children a life skill of, you know, as they experience being listened to, they can listen to others, you know.
Right.
And like you said, three-year-olds naturally are empaths, so listening comes quite naturally in a person that's in a normal environment, I guess you'd say, you know. But like you know, these life skills are important. So if we didn't get them when we were 3 or 4 or 5 years old, and now somebody's 25, 26 with 2 kids, and dad doesn't have any patience, he comes home from work and he needs the kids to do what they need to be doing, and mom is, you know, getting the house, you know, ready for the evening or whatever, and they want this kind of skills, they want this kind of harmony. What do you say to them that about the whole situation? And you know, dad's coming home from work, sometimes things come home with them, and even they try to leave it in the car, they try to leave it at the office, you know, they come in the door. One friend of mine on Father's Day, he shared, I forgot what call I was on, but he was talking about the hero's welcome, because when he would come from work, his kids would all rush to him and grab his legs and jump on him and hug him, and even the dog jump up and say, "Welcome home, Daddy," you know. And their family had a joke. They called it the hero's welcome. You know, that really helps. I think the dads leave it outside the home. You know, if they're received like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It reminds me of things I remember from childhood, like, you know, when the father comes home, he gets to go to his favorite chair, and somebody will bring his slippers, and you know, things like that, like welcoming things
And
like that.
appreciating everything he's doing for the family, even though
Yeah,
it's kind of unseen because he's somewhere else doing it, you know.
right.
So sometimes it's really kind of, taken for granted,
right,
like overlooked or undervalued. But it might be a dual income household as well, or mom might be the single income earner.
right.
On and off Raluca situation is like that, where her husband, he's a project manager. So when there's a project, he's working. And when there's no project, he's unemployed,
Yeah,
It's hard, because now more and more companies rely on project teams where they don't have full staff year round. The economy kind of pushes them into it, where they can have engineers on call, at their company, all 4 quarters of the year. If they don't have a contract, then they don't have something for their engineers working on.
Well, one of the things I'm putting together is an affiliate program. So these engineers, they can share my work and earn 50% of the income. Anyway,
Wow.
to supplement what they do. You'll know all about it when it's complete,
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I just know, yeah, it's hard for people to switch gears, but I think more and more people are getting like multiple streams of income, because even if they were working
Very
in a
important.
full-time job, like say they're in a project, they're still putting in, kind of like 9 hours a day, 8 hours or 9 hours a day. But then they could continue working on something else at home for, an hour or something like that.
Right.
Where they're maintaining because, yeah, if they're just, I know people, yeah, if you have a few streams, even though there's just one main one, but there's a few gigs on the side kind of thing,
Yes.
then that's something that they can, not be really like not a main focus, but it can be something. Well, for instance, like when you have PTA meetings and something like that, you're involved in your kids' life, and I think sometimes dads don't understand that, because when moms work, they're still doing all the PTA, they're still doing the church bake sale, they're still doing, something else that they're asked to volunteer for, but they're working and they're keeping up with their kids, whereas dads can do that too, but they might be more in the sports, taking them to practice and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, if people are involved in the education, like what you're saying, some affiliate program that they can actually, be a part of and have it return something financially.
Right.
That's interesting. I think that's interesting to people.
Yeah, especially right now, when with so everything that's gone on and it is going on. Yeah, having those options, things that are easy, things that you like, that you agree
care
with.
about. Yeah, you care about it.
Right.
And you're it's kind of a good combination, because you're involved with other friends, that you can talk to this about, but also, yeah, it's giving people a way to go to a different place, because we've been through something new. It's a great combination to go to a new place in your home or in your relationships, or your way of thinking about your little ones, your little kids,
Yeah.
and big kids too.
Right. For sure.
Everybody.
Yeah. So one thing you had asked what would I share with people who
To refocus. Is that?
One thing that I've learned pretty recently, and I use it a lot, if I need that kind of refocusing for myself. And it's pretty simple. There are actually two parts to it. The first part is just breathing out through my mouth. There's something about that, and I've heard of it two different places. One a number of years ago, and I tried it, and it was like, wow, this is pretty interesting. And then recently it came into my life again, and I hadn't thought of it for a long time. And it gets rid of feelings that don't feel good. It gets rid of everything, all the feelings and the thoughts. Somehow they leave me. It may not happen just with the first out breath, but if I do several, they leave me. And it kind of just brings you into the present, just being in the present without thoughts and emotions going on. And then for me, this, I think I've mentioned it, I've written about it, and it's even, I think it's in my book too. I call it my pattern interrupt. That's the name that came to me when I was introduced to this inwardly. And it's just a phrase, and I don't think that what the phrase is matters. I guess it's kind of like a mantra. So you could use, if somebody has a mantra they use, they could use that. If you could just think of some phrase that feels good to you to say in your mind. And so then after I've cleared myself with the out breaths through my mouth, it doesn't work through the nose. I don't know why, but it doesn't. I don't know the details of why this works. I just know it works. And I learned it from other people, so it must work for them too. And they teach it, so it must work for other people too. Anyway, so after I clear with the out breath, then I just repeat in my mind this phrase. And it's kind of uplifts me inside, and tends to bring about good feelings in me and good feeling situations. So this is something I would highly recommend. Now, I have in my book and in my teachings from before, I have it, one of the first things actually is to set up your own plan for calm, so that even if you're confronted with a situation that disturbs your calm, you can find your way back to it. And I list a number of possibilities. People can come up with their own, but this is now this out breath thing and the pattern interrupt, you can do anywhere. Now, the last person I learned the out breath thing from also recommends smiling. And I did that this morning, and it really makes a difference. It's like it changes things somehow. It's very interesting. So I get clear, and then I would recommend trying this smiling thing.
I'm smiling now.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, when I did Lamaze, when my children were being born,
Yeah, I did
and
Lamaze too.
Lamaze, right? So that was one of the things. Do you know Elizabeth?
I didn't remember that.
Elizabeth
Wow.
Bing. She was one of the 6 practical lessons for an early easier childbirth. Kind of the Bible of Lamaze. Like she really, how do you say, encapsulated Lamaze into a very thin, very practical book. Not too thin, not like a pamphlet, but just a nice small book. But that was the one thing at the end of every contraction. When it finished, you smile. That releases hormones. Actually, it releases not something with the endocrine gland. And so it's interesting because when you're talking about breathing outward through the mouth, because we live in Las Vegas, you can I mean, when there's a sudden heat wave and like the temperatures start dropping like 20 degrees from one day to another, or 40 degrees. I mean, not raising, you know, like from the 50s to the 90s in a day, right? Or in a week.
Right.
So you can forget to drink water and you can get really dehydrated.
Yes.
And what happens to me when I get dehydrated, I get vertigo. I get pain in my joints sometimes, especially my toes or my ankles or my my legs, but like weird tendons, like Achilles tendon, you know, it just won't move. It won't, if there's no flexibility because there's no water in my body.
Right.
And so just the other day, actually, I was cooking. I don't think it was something else. I was bringing something to a potluck, something like that. It was some kind of activity. I don't think it was Sunday at church. I don't remember. Sometimes I cook like 2 or 3 days in a row for different places. And I was getting really dizzy in the kitchen. And I was going, woo-hoo-hoo, woo-hoo-hoo. And if I do the woo-hoo-hoo, because I was getting like, I didn't know to drink coffee because that was going to make me throw up. Because if I get dizzy, like I'm really tired for one thing, and then I'm dehydrated. But I need the coffee to give me a little bit of wake up. But if I'm too dehydrated, then it will actually turn the dizziness to nausea. And I didn't want that to happen.
Right.
So if I could get out of the dizzy spell, and that breathing out from the mouth was really helpful to get out of the dizzy spell.
Wow.
Stop the spinning kind of feeling.
Yeah.
You know, like that imbalance, and just hoo and whoo, like that. Something as I'm still working, actually, I'm not stopping even. I'm not like holding on to anything. I'm still moving around the kitchen, just, you know, 2 or 3 times. And then I can get some water, and then I can like feel okay. I push myself through it, that kind of thing. And
I've learned how important water is in the desert because it, with the low moisture, it's like the transfer of water out of your body. I mean, it's really important to drink water, And when in my earlier life in California, I didn't drink water that much, but here I've learned I have to.
You think there's water in the air, and there's
No
not.
way.
There's just no water in the air because
I learned there's like maybe 17% humidity. Now sometimes there may be more when there's cloud cover, but that's not that that often and big a deal.
But I think it's even gotten worse. It's got, I think, a couple of things that that the city's done, thinking that they're helping. And I guess, of course, on one side they're helping, but I think it's got boomerang effects that they weren't ready for, is changing all the lawns to gravel so that we could conserve water in Lake Mead. They incentivize people on their water bill. If you take out your lawn and put in gravel, you get a 4% decrease in your charges each month. You know,
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, the water district, and also the solar panels, all out there, like on the way to California.
Yeah.
I think solar panels heat up the valley even more. You know, I think if they tried to research a little bit more on wind energy as well as solar. Yeah, because the solar, of course, it's there.
Right.
But if you've got reflection panels all over the ground, are you making
I've seen them
hotter? Are you making it hotter, or is that? I mean, I'm not a physicist, and I haven't researched it, but I just don't see how it cannot. Because I look at it if I'm driving to California and I look at all that incredible brightness. It's like, it feels like there's a second sun right there on the ground.
Yeah,
and I can't imagine how that's not increasing temperatures. How can that not increase temperature? I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah, because we've found that decreasing light, covering up windows, like layer, so much less heat comes in the house. It's just amazing. So
And
that
turning
kind
off
of
light
is
bulbs
logical what you say, you know, that more of that light there. I mean, it makes sense anyway.
I should probably try to talk to people who are actual engineers in that field, check and see. But the idea also is like how there's always, you know, wind is a challenge because in the wind that is the dust, and dust and technology don't mix very well. You know, I don't know.
But I know
put out there, it's gonna get dusty.
I know in near the Bay Area in Northern California, they have huge wind farms. So they've got to deal with that too somehow. And they're huge.
And when the turbines don't work anymore, they don't know what to do with them.
Oh.
There's a dead turbine there, and it's an enormous piece of metal.
Right. They are.
Have a purpose. It doesn't have a purpose anymore. It's like there has to be some kind of circular cycle to energy. But that's a different thing, because all kinds of you know, real energy has been produced without, and that's getting stifled by people who have, you know, monetary interest in other kinds of energy, and so you know, they block it and things like that. But anyhow, just about the dehydration, we have to take care of ourselves.
Yes.
You know, whatever is around us. But I love that that empowerment of having that mindset to breathe out if you're facing some kind of situation that, like you said, is disturbing your calm. You have the power not to change the whole situation, but you have the power to change you.
Right.
In the, you know, all that's, and from that might come, you know, dissolving kind of tension a little bit. You know.
Well, one thing that happens when you do that for yourself is that from that state, you can come up with, you allow in ideas that won't come in if you're tense, if you're under stress, if you're frustrated, angry, all those things. Those ideas that can help improve things won't come to you. But if you calm down, then all of a sudden you're in a new place and new kinds of ideas can come, and it can be, oh yeah, okay, I can do this. And then everything shifts around it, and you're dealing with an improved situation. So that's been my experience anyway.
Yeah, to see how you can, because when you're in that stress situation or that anxiety or that really uncomfortable place of something coming in and changing you from where you want to be, it's a little bit feels like an outside force. I mean, in certain moments, that's happening. And when you fall into that and you don't stay where you want to be, then it not only prevents from not good solutions coming to you, it really invites bad ideas.
Yes, it does. It does.
It's weird, right? So
Yeah.
it multiplies quickly.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I experienced that yesterday.
oh,
So I know fresh exactly what you're saying. Fortunately, I was able to pull myself back, and it was something I read on Facebook. And so
oh,
I pulled myself back, and I got in this really, it was, I felt blessed by the presence that I felt from not getting into where I was going with this, because I could have easily. But fortunately, I have myself more together the way I want to be. And so, so I didn't, and then I had this wonderful feeling that it was like a, I guess maybe a joyful feeling. But blessed, I think, is a good one too. So anyway,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
I've experienced that too. You just this kind of overwhelming gratitude that,
yeah,
thank you
right,
for not going there, kind of
yes,
feeling. I'm not
yeah,
sure if that comes with age or what, but if it's, by living life, you do learn some things like that. And maybe some
right,
things are a little bit more of a weakness or something like that. Where um, I'm not sure, but in many, many cases, we can see enough to pull ourselves back from
right,
something,
yeah.
yeah. So.
Well, it's time.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to go on a very interesting UPF Zoom right now.
All
I
right.
don't know if you saw it, but Larry Moffat is going to share his experiences of going to North Korea. I think
Oh,
that's what's on today.
okay.
I can send you the link if you want to jump in. You can jump
Yeah,
out, jump in and out.
yeah.
But I'll go ahead and
That
send it
sounds
to you,
good.
and then I'm going to go on there. I'm sure
Okay.
Leslie's there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Great to see
Yeah.
you
She
here.
said she had 4 Zooms before noon.
I
So,
know, right? I hope this is the one at 11 that I'm thinking it is.
okay.
Okay. I'll
All
see
right.
you later.
Okay. Bye.